The key for us around hiring a placement student was the fact that it was a funded placement. My attention was drawn to that by one of my academic colleagues at University of Leeds, who was involved with the RSC setting up the funded placement scheme. So we applied for that through Cogent and were successful.
It's a fantastic experience, but you need to be sure that this is what you want to do. But as long as you enjoy being in the lab and you think that's what you want to do with your future, then an industrial placement is definitely a good decision.
I think a placement student, it's more than just the money, it's obviously also an enthusiastic pair of hands. There's also other benefits to us. I think it's a useful personal development opportunity for some of our staff who might have not done line management before, so it helps our staff develop as well as the placement student.
In my personal opinions, an SME, I think, is the best place to start if you want to do your industrial placement. Even after, of course, but the exposure you get as a student is invaluable. And I think you don't get that exposure in a big pharma company, whereas here you get the attention you need, and right away, I work with my boss, he's in the office, I ask him a direct question, I get the answer, done. So that's really invaluable.
Clearly there's benefits to the company in terms of you get a pair of hands to do some work for you. Also, as a company with a placement student, you've got a responsibility, I feel, to make sure that their placement's interesting and valuable and put something back into their life as well. We're looking to hire people who go into lab and do work for us, as well as being very good at the theory. So it's having that practical skills, and I think demonstrating that you've done that in a placement in a relevant company, a relevant industrial company, is definitely important for me if I'm looking to recruit.
The exposure I've gotten and the skills I've learned will be transferable for years to come, and I've been exposed to it so early in my career that I can only progress from here.
Well, Cogent have been responsible for administering the running of the placement into the applications. So although the RSC are funding it, Cogent have looked after all the practicalities of getting the applications. All the applications came into Cogent, so we didn't have to worry about those. So I think Cogent's role in helping a small company manage that down to a short list that we can actually consider for interview was really useful, because obviously in a small company, if someone has to do that role of sifting 100 applications, they're not doing something else they should be doing.
I think people expect to have a certain amount of knowledge before they apply to a placement. If that's the issue, forget it. Knowledge will come. I think you should just go for it and do a placement year, because it's just absolutely eye-opening. It's fantastic for building your tools and skills as a chemist.
For Wypertech as an SME, the placement schemes work really well, and I would recommend it. I think it's a few things to consider to make sure it fits in for your particular company, but I think overall it's been a real benefit for us and has worked out really well.